This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
All right, we're with it here at the State Fair. Thanks to everybody that's joining us. Kinger, speaking of our friends at Pilot Games, I don't know if they have E-tabs at the fair, but you were sharing a pretty good idea for pull tabs at the State Fair. Tell me about that.
Yeah, now someone's going to steal this idea. So I think there should be a skyscraper pull tab box. It's like 4 stories high, and there's an opening at the bottom. So it's kind of like when you count how many jelly beans are in a jar, right? So you get there at the start of the fair, it's full. And on the side of it, it's got the same thing to mark off the winners, but they got to go up on one of those ladders.
So it's like a giant clear skyscraper full of pull tabs.
Full of pull tabs so you can see how many there are. There's a big winner in there. There's like a $25,000 winner, which becomes the story. And then you raise a huge amount for some specific charity, and each year you switch the beneficiary.
Isn't that what you love about the State Fair, though? Like, ideas like that come to life. Like, right in front of you, you've got pickled iced tea, and somehow it's popular.
Yeah, and I mean, everything. An Uncrustable burger, right? This is like the new World's Fair. This is where innovation happens. This is like an auto show.
We showed up, just so you guys all know, John and I showed up this morning because, one, his wife, Stacy, is a connoisseur of all things the fair. She might be the most well-versed fair person in Minnesota.
She has
Is that fair to say?
She has a black belt in fair, probably 9 out of 12 days, typically, and knows where all the alleys are, the bathrooms, the hidden things, the live music.
The shortcuts.
Yeah, it's almost like having a concierge with you when you come to the fair with her. So that makes my experience better.
Yeah, like she knows right away, like, where's the cheapest burger? Boom.
Midway Men's Club.
Like, I could just ask you those questions. She has a bench. You guys have a bench.
Yep, by the corn roast. Yep, Stacy King bench. Check it out. Sit on it. Sit upside down on it if you want.
So it's fun to go to the fair with the Kings because they're pretty well versed, but I wanted to get a piece of that. So we came a little bit early this morning. We did start at the horticulture building.
Yeah, we had to.
Made
so
sense.
Hart's won the ribbon. He now has. Where does your
So I don't know if anybody knows this. We'll explain this. I submitted the honey to the State Fair for judging, and it's to win a ribbon in honey. And I did one category,
And
clean line jar.
And
glass.
I do believe there's hundreds of honeys that are submitted. This is a big deal. This is like World Junior Evaluation Camp, right? This is like you made it into something. Where does the ribbon rank compared to the Stanley Cup with Anaheim?
Dude, I tell you what, with how excited my wife was for this, I would say that one goes on the mantle. The Stanley Cup goes into the closet right now. She was stoked.
Did it ruin?
Of like the things that I've accomplished, she's most happy about this ribbon for the honey at the State Fair.
Did it ruin it that I was the one that broke the news to you because my wife was at the fair at 9:30 on the
9:30 first day.
So that's also a weird deal, right? So
Yeah.
you submit.
Yeah.
Somebody judges them, and then they just put a ribbon on it. And if you happen to go to the fair and see it, you learn you won.
Right.
There's no email.
No, we
there's
had no
text.
idea.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, congratulations. That's really cool.
I'm excited to see what you actually get for winning, though, because like on the rules, I couldn't figure it out. There were premiums. So you get like first premium, second premium, third premium, fourth premium, and it feels like place. And then you get a payout for each. So I think it's possible that honey is going to win the family $16.
And can you leverage it? Like, could you go to like, Carboni's and be like, hey, I have an award-winning honey. We could make it hot, put it on your, you can use the credential. Do you think you can leverage it into an expansion?
I think we're going to try. Like, what kind of honey? Hot honey is the craze of the fair this year there. So maybe we missed the honey wave of trying to get like a booth at the fair or something.
And are you going to do hot?
I'll do hot. I'll try it. I don't know.
How do you do hot? How do you make it hot?
I think you just, actually I learned this morning. I think
Okay.
you just warm up the honey, but not too much so it caramelizes, and then you just put like a hot chili oil in there, some chili, something to spice it up.
Well, we had a little bit of hot chili news with Marco Rossi signing finally, one of the big two. That was, I think, music to a lot of Wild fans' ears.
Yeah, today that's second page news because Taylor Swift got engaged to Travis Kelce. That's
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think this is where you
did that actually happen, or is that just fake news?
That's where you want to hear about this, is on a Wild podcast. My main question is the name changing, because I believe in the power structure he should become Travis Swift, which actually probably extends his NFL career 2 years. If you're called Travis Swift, you're catching 100 balls.
Well, I think what gets you out of football is you just can't keep up the pace anymore. So if your last name's Swift, you could just fool a GM or two into signing you to another deal.
Yeah, you definitely get a couple more years.
All right, so food for the day. Let's rank it. We had cheese curds. We had lobster on a stick. We had honey ice cream, and we had the iced teas.
I would say the honey ice cream was very good.
Yeah, as one.
Cheese curds I'll just put second because we almost take them for granted, even though we shouldn't. And then I got this pickled iced tea, and then the the lobster on a stick. I don't know. I mean, the owner came out, so I want to be nice, but that one didn't sit super well with me. Where are you at? Same rankings?
Pretty close to the same rankings. Honey ice cream was 1. Curds were 2. I think I liked probably, maybe it is the same. The pickle would be 3rd. Lobster would be 4. And then I got the cotton candy tea. That was 5. That one was
I forgot about the diabetes in a cup. Yeah, that was stuff. That was a one-legged Smurf. It was blue.
It was, like purple, blue, whatever. It looked good. I got sold. I got marketed to.
But I think one of the nice things is we were able to attribute a Wild player to each item. So Kirill was the lobster on a stick because it was the most expensive, $19.95, and it took a little while to get done.
Yeah, that's Kirill. What did we go with the cheese curds? That's Ryan Hartman, because somehow you from South Carolina to Chicago, just south of
it gets the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
And then we had, I think we had a debate on salty and sweet Felino.
That was the Marcus.
On the pickled, I think I said Middleton because it was a little bit of a wild card. And then the sweet cotton candy was who?
Swede. It was a Swede.
It was a Swede. It was Jesper
Volstead. Yeah, it could have been any number of them. Maybe even Jonas Brodin. Just very Swede.
Yeah, any of the Swedes. What did you think of the Rossi deal getting done?
I was in the camp that felt he was never really going to be traded. And you hear these rumors that, the Wild are asking for so much. Did you hear any of those over the course of the summer? Where they were saying, apparently he's on the market, but they're asking an astronomical amount for him.
Like Pedersen from Vancouver, and I heard that.
Yeah, and we talked about this in July, I think, on the podcast, where what that actually means is that they don't want to trade him. So they were always hoping to be able to get a deal done. And, we were in Billy's basement just a week ago today, and it was funny because we asked him about that. And after the podcast, you were kind of like, did you get the sense that the Rossi deal is close or done? And I said, I didn't, but there was one part of the podcast where he included Rossi in his middle core of players, and then that made me believe that maybe there's something close to being done there. And sure enough, it was just 2 days later, and it was announced.
Yeah, he had different body language. If he has a tell, if he was playing poker, I had a sense that one was a lot closer than 97 is at the moment. But so that's good news. The thing about Rossi is, I've been looking in the comments on the Instagram, and people love this kid. He's pretty, straight across the plate, does what you say, gets better every year, works hard every year. And I think the Minnesota fan base just is kind of like, we always say we want a center. This guy's doing everything you tell him to do. He'll gain 15 pounds in the summer. He'll go from 40 points to 60 points. Maybe he can go to 80 points. So I think people were very happy to not see him walk out the door.
Well, you had to get him, or you had to get somebody that could play the middle in return. You look at the roster, and I think the Wild have circled the face-off dot saying they want to get better. You bring in Nico Sturm, and you've got Marco Rossi. If he leaves, now you've got a void up in your top 6 down the middle, so you'd have to bring somebody else in. But I think you're right. It would have been way too early to turn the page on a guy that has gotten better every year. And I think he's a guy that probably still has more to give a little bit. You look at last year, and I think we forget that these guys are young, and the season's long. Like, his start to the season was great, and then towards the end of the year, he started to fade a little bit. And that's just experience. It takes time. It's not like he's out of shape. If anything, the guy works too much, right? So I think the consistency is going to get there. He's going to be a little bit better too. And yeah, I mean, he's a part of the club, and I think the guys like him, the fans like him. So at the end of the day, too, I think you look at that. The Wild had to get that deal done. Billy had to get that deal done because you go into the summer and you've got the handcuffs off because of the salary cap situation that they've been in the previous years, and it's exciting. There's some money. What are you going to go get? There wasn't much to get. And now if you're going to return the same lineup minus a Marco Rossi to your club, that wasn't – I mean, I know you got Tarasenko and Sturm, but it wasn't going to be as exciting a summer as you thought. So I think the Wild needed to get this deal done and get him signed. They do it, and it seems like it's a good deal. 3 years, Marco Rossi. Now, if we analyze that contract, I should just stop here because we're going to have Lou Nanne and Zeev Buium join the show, and these are great questions to be able to ask Lou. Like, what's he think about that kind of deal, term versus money? You know, he's been in that chair before, but I think it was a good, fair deal. It looks good to me.
Yeah, we should talk about Billy's house a little bit. A great moment on that podcast was when we really want the pen that Kirill eventually signs his deal to become a souvenir for the podcast. So you brought out a pen. You had carved a little hole in it into a hockey puck, and he didn't understand what we were asking him. He was like, he just thought you were giving him a strange gift from your workshop. But I think he agreed that, you know, if and when 97 signs, that we get the actual pen, which could be worth a lot.
Where would you go to get like a nice pen?
Did you bought that, right?
Yeah. I made a special trip for it.
Office Max?
That's what I did. So I went to Office Max, and I didn't know what to call. I was like, where are your nice pens? And they bring me like the pen section, and it was like Tool, you know, which is a nice one, TUL. They're like,
yeah, but I think there's nicer pens somewhere
so
else.
I was like, how about the executive pens?
Yeah, those would be like wherever you buy like the ice holder for whiskey ice.
Yeah.
And maybe Sunglass Shop maybe has like 5 pens in there or something.
Well, they were like in the glass case, but not in the glass case. So it was like, you know, you go to Costco or something, and if you want to buy a tablet, they send you to the front desk with a card, and they pull it from the back. That's what this pen was.
Okay, so it was like in the back.
Yeah, they had a card that I could bring the card up to the front, and then they run to the back and get you the pen.
I like that.
I don't know if it's like a high theft item, but yeah,
that's like a Rolex. Like I would like to open the case.
Yes. Okay. I didn't know what to call it though, but they understood when I was like, I need an executive pen.
I just hope it works.
Where I think it is going to work. So we get the pen, and I wanted to make it look like it could just sit on Billy's desk and fit in. So I grabbed a Wild puck, and then I drilled a hole in it so that the pen could rest in there nicely, and then I could just sit on his desk and be convenient for somebody that might be signing a contract to just grab it and sign. Billy he wasn't picking up. And
I think that pen's still in his basement.
No, so this is why I'm optimistic.
Okay.
So as we were leaving, like I went to grab it, and he kind of grabbed it back.
So you think he's brought that into...
I think there's a chance.
That's in like the war room in St. Paul.
Yeah. It's in his office.
That's outstanding.
And I think what confused him is I asked if we could rent space on his desk. That's what maybe threw him off. But it was like, just leave this around your desk for a little bit. So we might have the pen. Now, I looked. Rossi signed his deal in Austria or wherever. So that wasn't the pen. So he didn't misinterpret that we wanted the Rossi signature.
And no offense to Rossi, but that's not what the pen was for.
Right. We would have done a separate pen.
How are you? So, like, I have a lot of anxiety about Kirill. We were using the metaphor until Rossi and Kirill get signed. It's like you have 2 teenage kids, and they're not home in the house, and you can't sleep.
Like their doors open, and you're just like...
Yeah, like I'm on Snapchat looking in the location finder, Life 360, trying to figure out where Kirill is. Is he staying up late? Is he flipping tires in the rain? Like I need this deal to get done.
When my kids are at a sleepover, I have to close their doors anyways, just because it changes everything. Like, let's say you get up in the night and the moonlight comes in through. It's like startling because you're like afraid that something happened to one of your kids or something. But it's just because their door's open. So that's the kind of anxiety you're walking around with on the daily level.
Yeah, like honestly, if they announced that they signed him to a 1-year deal, I would be so happy to have the 2 years. This is the greatest player we've ever had, and I want him to stick around. And I don't care about term. I tried to tell Billy that in the last pod, but I think you got a window here. 3 years, 4 years plus the one we already have. Let's lock in 97 and build from there.
Everybody wants to lock in 97. You know what is locked in, though, is Billy's basement. How about that?
So this guy saved everything, which is strange to me because Billy doesn't strike me as a guy who would...
Like a collector.
No, so he has every helmet he's ever worn in the NHL. He has a framed Utica Devils jersey.
With?
I think that's all you need to know. With blood on it, or one of the jerseys
Or
has
beer?
champagne and beer. That's the Penguins Cup jersey. Never cleaned it, completely stained. I asked him if it was blood, and he just looked at me and goes, "Nah, champagne and beer." So that was the Minnesotan in me, I guess. But and then he's got these trucks from, what's the gas station?
Hess.
Hess. He must have 50 of these toy trucks. You got airplanes that land in water. You got it all. It's crazy.
What you can tell is that he's got a big personality, likes to host people, wants everybody to have a good time. The basement was set up to just be fun.
Well, karaoke.
Yeah, so he had the big bar. He had all the food that you could want down there. I mean, you brought some food too. That was good. Plenty to drink, places to lounge. But then he had the entertainment. It was karaoke. He had like an Irish pub right in the corner with karaoke there. Poker table we sat at.
Did you notice that
Shuffleboard
he
pool.
sorted the memorabilia? So you had the one room which was all USA. And then you had another room that was all the All-Star games. And then you had another room that was a hallway that was all Stanley Cup wins. And then we got into the helmets and the jerseys. But, I mean, this is impressive.
He had a nice collection.
And you only say...
But it doesn't stop there. The collecting doesn't stop there.
What else does he collect? Lego?
Like he's kept things all the time. What was the bike he had in the garage?
Oh, that's right. He has like his Huffy California lights.
He's going to be so mad that we don't know
He's got the
what
same
it is.
dirt bike as Elliot from E.T.
Yeah.
But I don't know the name of the brand.
And it's a BMX bike. It's not a dirt bike, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a Haro or something like that. But
It's the actual bike.
and when you played, you only kept sticks.
I kept sticks.
See, that's such a bad choice because displaying, awful. Can't display it. How do you display that? You could do a rack, and people just walk by it and see the names on the stick. Jerseys, huge. And I had no idea, but helmets are awesome. Save the helmets. Every sports bar has got all these NFL helmets, college football. He must have had 20 helmets up on that ledge.
Yeah, what makes his helmets cool is that they were kind of all, like, you could tell they were worn.
They were,
You know?
they were rugged.
Yeah.
That's back with the one-piece foam that turns yellow after the first time you wear it. It's basically like the same stuff they package Amazon with now. Yeah, that's no good.
And with his stuff, though, like it never changed. He wore the same helmet from his rookie year through the very end. So it's just like the same helmet,
the
but he wore like
CCM,
6 of them. Yeah.
the classic CCM, which is awesome. Hey, can I tell you I went to a witch this summer.
Yeah.
So we had the wild marketing team out, and we worked with a witch in Stillwater, a real witch. It was a male witch, which I think is a warlock, but he called himself a witch. And instead of, I got my palm read for myself, but I wanted to get some input for the wild. And so I brought a picture of Kirill, and I brought a picture of the wild logo, and I had the witch do a reading of both of them. And it was tarot cards. So he flipped over 3 cards for 97 and 3 cards for the franchise. Would you like to know what he said?
I would.
He he flipped the fluid card for Kirill, which means he needs to either be hydrated more, or I don't know. I got that same card, so we have that in common. And then he got like a talking card and like a tower card or something. And so basically he said, this is a person that doesn't think they need to talk to be a leader. I swear to God, this is what the witch said. He said, this is a person that thinks all the extra stuff is not necessary. It's silly. But in order for him to reach his full potential, he has to embrace all the extra stuff and become more verbal. That's what he said about 97, who has never been on the podcast, by the way. And then the team, he said, it's a changing of an era. He got the era changing card, which is kind of cool. 25th season, we're out of the cap hell. And he said something's happening with their building because it was a house card, Grand Casino Arena. And then he said there's a bunch of guys on this team that have been here a little while. It was something about leadership, and he said they need to just not worry about whose fault it was or who did something right or who did something wrong, and find a way to get it done. That's what the witch told me. I couldn't have left more pleased. I was like, this guy, and this, by the way, this is a guy who isn't reading the Pioneer Press. You know, he had like a top hat on and painted nails, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that Grand Casino Arena just became the new sponsor. So I took it at face value. So, I mean, if we talked to Kirill, we could be like, hey, you know, we spent time with a warlock, and you know, you got to get out there more.
But he doesn't need to talk, but he needs to do some of the stuff.
Yeah, he just said if to get to his full potential, there's things he rolls his eyes at that he's going to have to embrace. I don't know what that means exactly. And fluids. So probably get him some water on the bird.
Vodka?
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got some special guests here. Should we bring them in now?
Yeah, so this is Mr. Zeev Buium.
We'll do a proper intro.
Yeah, we'll do a proper intro. Bring him in.
Wild on 7th is sponsored by Cub, and while hockey is a few weeks away, we're getting into game day season, and Cub has everything you need to fuel up for the season. Chips, dips, wings, brats, pre-made party trays, and Cub liquor store deals. Grab the ice for your drinks and your tailgates and your watch parties. That's Cub. We're also sponsored by Avo & Co., a brand new salad dressing that's 100% avocado oil made from real avocados. For far too long, salad dressing has been outkicking its coverage with salad. Not anymore. This is salad's soulmate because it's just as healthy and just as good for you and the world with a recyclable bottle. Stop eating seed oils and switch to Avo & Co., salad's new soulmate.
How about you?
Good transition. I'm good, and I'm good because I'm well hydrated. I've had good water all summer long. Actually, I did get my filters replaced on the Kinetico K5 reverse osmosis system, and it's been terrific. Turns out maybe I waited a little bit long. The pressure was down, so now it's been dynamite. I actually had them come out too, and they I had water problems, believe it or not. So if you have water problems, make sure you check out Aquarius Home Services. I'll send another photo. I have so much iron in my water that I had like a 1/2-inch pipe that was down to like, I don't even know, like a pea-size tube of water could fit through it. It's unbelievable. Really? Yeah. So they came over, cleaned all that out. Great customer service. Love them. Can't recommend them enough. They come over, they put their little booties on, they respect the house, they let you know they're coming, they send you a little piece of information on the technician that's coming over, you know, all about them, your interest, all kinds of good small talk while they're doing the work. It's terrific. Aquarius Home Services. If you've got problem water, they've got the solution for you. Aquarius Home Services, earning the right to be recommended. AquariusHomeservices.com.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. And our other friends at Wild Construction, I've got them coming out later this summer to paint some of the exterior of the house. The roof is in good shape. Gutters are in good shape. Windows are doing their job. But the sun has beat up on the house. It's fading absolutely everywhere, especially on the kind of the south-facing sides. So I'll have them over to paint it. They specialize in some storm damage and roof repair. So if you're in an area that has had some of that go on this year, make sure you give them a call. They've got the resources on their website, wildconstruction.com, and they'll let you know if there is an area, when the storm was. They'll get somebody out there up on the roof to check to make sure that you don't have any damage. But yeah, Wild Construction, check them out. They do a great job.
What's up, Zeev? How are you doing? Good. Nice to meet you. All right, this interview is sponsored by Duke Cannon. If your hair is a weapon, if you need some body wash, if you need some cologne, earn your clean. Walk into a Target, grab some Duke Cannon. Man, we got great guests today. We got a Johnny Cash defenseman, likes to walk that line. All he does is win gold. Zeev Buium from the Minnesota Wild. And we got a guy as cool as Robert Redford and Paul Newman. If we could all age as gracefully as Sweet Lou from the Sioux, we would be happy. Mr. Lou Nanne. Welcome to the program, gentlemen. So Zeev, you're going to be signing for these guys later. You're a young player. I was looking at Kirill's signature the other day, and as best I can tell, he just draws a diamond, which I don't even know. I was like, I don't even know if he signed this. They're like, no, that's what he does. Do you take consideration? You got the Z, which is an awesome item. Like, do you have a strong signature?
Mine's pretty bad, honestly.
Just a big Z and then a scribble?
It's kind of like a Z, like half an E and like a scribble.
Do you go number?
I do, yeah. I always go number.
That's strong. Do you go like WJC gold, World Championship gold?
No, I don't.
That would take too long, probably.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though. So
I think it matters. Like, I remember Ricky Henderson's signature when I was a little kid on his rookie card, and it was so cool, and you knew what it looked like. I mean, Louis, you got to think like this is a thing, right? To have a professional signature?
No, I don't. I actually, maybe you forgot the story of Harmon Killebrew, and it's something I heard him say, and I remembered, and I thought it was really appropriate. He says, people want your autograph, make it so that they can understand who it is. And I have to tell you a story. I played in old timers. It was called Heroes of Hockey, Madison Square Gardens, when I was done playing. And before the game, Gordie Howe came over to me. He says, what's up? I said, I was trying to get a hold of you there. I said, I want you to sign my sweater. And he said, why? I said, Gordie, you've been my idol since I grew up. I won't have it. He says, you know what? Sign mine too then. I said, okay, well, why don't we get everybody to sign it? So we went around the room, and we have some of the greatest names that ever played in hockey I have in this sweater. And that's the only thing I still have. And you know, I don't understand anybody's signature except Gordie Howe.
yes, you don't know who it is.
I don't know who's playing now. I can't remember, and I can't read it, and that makes me so upset. You know, I know Cornway was there. I know Esposito was there. But the guys I know I could figure out, but, you know, you got 20 guys there, and I can't read most of the signatures, and that's ridiculous.
I think I played with guys that had like two signatures. So they'd have like their one that they would sign for fans that would try to be legible or maybe fast, because sometimes guys try to do just a fast one, you know? And then they'd have their official one, which would look quite a bit different, you know what I mean? So
You're off the hook with the Z, though. All you need is a Z and a number, man.
Mine's pretty simple. Like, you can usually tell it's me.
Unless they think it's Zuccarello. We'll figure that out. But. Hey, Zeev, so tell us about your summer. I saw you got the beach bod going. I saw you with the. We actually showed Guerin the photo.
Oh, no.
He seemed quite pleased with your progress.
Yeah.
So you probably put on some LBs in the right way, and you're maybe living with Boldy?
Yeah, I'm staying with Bolds right now. He was nice enough to take me in and let me live with him for now. So, but summer's been good. I mean, I get to spend a little bit of time at home with my family, my friends. So, I mean, can't complain when you're going to the beach almost every day.
how are the decorations at Boldy's place? Because he was on the podcast a couple years ago. You remember this?
He tried to
and
buy
what kind of photo did he want? Of some band,
He
right?
tried to buy like a wall-sized picture of the Rolling Stones, and
And it was like a 10
7.
It was like a 10 by 10. He put in a frame, didn't fill up the wall, so it looked ridiculous. So he had to hire an interior designer to go through the place. But it looks good.
It's beautiful. Yeah, he's got a sweet place. Really, really nice, and he keeps it really clean. I was pretty impressed with how
Is
organized.
there a golf
it is.
simulator in there?
No, we were trying to convince him the other day to maybe get one in there, but I don't think he's gonna do it.
He's not going to bite.
No, I think he's gonna wait.
Right on. We're here to talk about USA Hockey a little bit too, and the World Juniors coming to town. How great is that tournament, and how's the experience with it?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, probably the most memorable, most fun tournament I ever played, and getting to do it twice and going back to back was just incredible. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, I'm so upset that I can't play in it this year, that it's in Minnesota. I mean, I think that's so amazing for our game, for the game of hockey, for the states to have it now here, and especially in a state like this where everyone cares so much about hockey. So, I mean, I wish I could play in it one more year.
Lou, what do you think about USA Hockey? Kind of feels like it's hitting its sweet spot right now, doesn't it?
I think it's even above that, Ryan. When you look at what they've achieved this year, they've won every title in every age division, and it's the first time ever. Like, the men have won the world tournament since what, 83? No, even before that.
Yeah, it was like 90 years.
Yeah, way before
1933.
that. Yeah. And so I'm so thrilled by what the U.S. has accomplished. And by the way, I watched Z in Ottawa this year, and I was at the game, and he made an unbelievable pass in the overtime.
Thank you.
And that's his partner, and I said, that's my wife, he's on our team. And I meant the Wild, so it's something to look forward to. But what they don't understand, Ryan, John, I don't know, even know if you know this, and for years, people have talked so much about how great this tournament is, but they have no idea that in Canada, unless a team from Canada is in the Stanley Cup Finals, the viewing ratings on TV are bigger for the World Junior than the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's something that they've just took to, cherished.
Yeah.
They wanted it enough, and it's 24 hours a day. We have it on NHL Network here about the tournament while it's going on. But TSN has not only that, they've got games from all over. They are, and Canada just takes this tournament next to the Stanley Cup and the Olympics. That's the best thing.
It's the same age group as high school hockey. And if you look at the state high school tournament in Minnesota and how big a deal that is, to Canada, the World Junior Tournament is like that on steroids. Like, it's the whole country. It's not just one state, right? Like, so it's, and I think it's growing in the States, though, like the recognition of it and kind of the importance of it and the talent that you get at the tournament. Would you guys say that that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're obviously seeing like the next generation of players coming through, and like you said, I mean, Canada does a great job of hosting it too. I mean, when our first year in Sweden, it was pretty awesome. But going to Ottawa, it was like you're like a celebrity there if you're walking around the streets, and everybody kind of knows what's going on, who you are, and I actually think we ended up getting like a discount off of like anyone who played in the World Juniors got like a discount on Lululemon in Ottawa. So they care a lot about it, and yeah, I mean, it's just such a special tournament to play in.
So best players in the world under 20 years age, right? So this pack just came out. I saw this in the Pioneer Press. They ran a full page ad. It's a USA pack. You get all 4 of the preliminary round games with the United States. It kind of starts on the 26th, runs through New Year's Eve for that initial round. So you can just buy the red, white, and blue, which is amazing. So I've watched it for years. I love this tournament. Zegras whistling for the anthem, Zeev, the Kachuk boys outside in Buffalo. But what's the experience like of going? Because it seems super fun. Like, I'm going to be with a bunch of Swedish people on New Year's Eve, or is it like a Olympic festival and the bars are filled with people from all over the world? Is that kind of part of the experience too?
I mean, I think so. I think you see like just the atmosphere in whatever city it's in. It's just like people are alive. They know what's going on. They're excited, and we're not really going to the bars and stuff. And,
the crowd though has a mix, right? It's got people from all over the world.
Definitely, it definitely gets intense. I mean, when we played Sweden in the final my first year, that was the loudest building I've ever played in. Like, you couldn't hear the guy next to you, if you were screaming at the top of your lungs. So it's definitely something that you can feel it in the atmosphere in that city, wherever you are.
Well, I think one thing people have to remember, the best players in the world 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now are going to be playing here in December. All the best players in the world in the NHL have played in the World Junior Tournament. And that's what this tournament's all about. It's best on best. And these guys that are the best, you'll see them as the highest draft picks coming through this coming year, and after that you'll see them as the top players as they grow older and they start to mature. They're the future guys like McDavid that's there now. McDavid, Crosby, Bedard, whoever you want to name, they all played in the tournament. So it's something we get the opportunity. We haven't had it. We had it in 1984, and it wasn't that big at that time. I remember a lot of the games were even up in North Dakota, and we were letting them use our building at the Met. But it's evolved in such a way now that it is something that is really special. I've watched some around the world, and I watched my son play in '87 in Czechoslovakia. That's when the big fights, you remember, and they had to turn the lights off and stuff like that between the Canadians and the Russians. In the game, the U.S. and Canada had one warm-up, which involved my son. But it's something that people don't realize how wonderful it is till they get the opportunity to go out there and see it. And I urge everybody. And by the way, there are going to be some games, exhibition games around the state before. So we're going to try and get cities around Minnesota to see some of these players. They're going to get opportunities in towns maybe close to them where they can go. But they come from all over the world, the people do, and it's 24-hour-a-day advertisement for the state of Minnesota, and we're looking forward to the state putting on a great show.
Yeah, so buy your tickets. Let's show up for the red, white, and blue in St. Paul. We asked this question to a lot of people, and I'm curious your answer. Gold medal. Let's call it an Olympic gold medal since you've won a lot of other ones. Let's say national title, college, Stanley Cup. What's your order? I want to hear Louis' answer to this too.
My number one?
Yeah, you have to rank them.
Stanley Cup, I think.
Stanley Cup 1.
Olympic gold. What was the third?
College national championship. You have a few of those.
Crazy that I have to put the Natty at 3, but I do. I mean, I think obviously never won Olympic gold or a Stanley Cup, but I mean, I think just hearing and seeing how much it takes to get there and to get to the top of that, it seems like the most incredible thing in the world. So, and just growing up as a kid and you get to this point now, and it's like that's all you've dreamt about your entire life. So, obviously though, to get the chance to represent your country on an Olympic stage would be pretty amazing. So I mean, I don't know, it's tough, but I think that's my order.
How about you, Lou? The Wild win the Cup, U.S. wins Olympic gold or national championship. I guess it'd be for the Gophers for you.
Well, I have to tell you, what Z said, it's hard to go away from the Stanley Cup when you have to play so many games to win the championship. Olympics, it was a great thrill to play in Olympics. I never had a feeling in my life that I had in the locker room before a game with the Olympic team, even playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But that's a one-game shot, and you could get lucky and win it. But if you're going to win a Stanley Cup, you just don't get lucky and win it. You battle. Brian, you've been in the playoffs, going for it. And winning. You know how you feel after every game. It's like somebody's taking a sledgehammer to your body, and you got to go and do it again 2 days later. And you're doing this time after time after time. To me, would be the most gratifying because it takes so much to do it. And worldwide, of course, it's going to be the Olympics for people. They'd like to see their country win the Olympic, and so would I. But for someone to achieve it, you got to go Stanley Cup, Olympics, and college. I'd have the same order as Z.
Yeah, it's almost like the Olympic team's obviously harder to make, but it's easier to win. There's right, like, and not that it's easy to win. It's just you just don't have to sacrifice as much.
Yeah. I mean,
it's shorter.
Even last year, being able to see the guys in game one and playing in, it's like in that series, it's like you guys are already so beat up going into that series, and then you got to find a way to get through it. And I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking about even actually experiencing it, and it's like it's crazy what you have to go through mentally and physically to win a Stanley Cup. Like I mean, obviously I've never been there, but it's like
almost like playing college and then a national tournament and then playoff games and then world championships.
It's still
kind of your year last year.
Yeah, like NCAA though, it's still one game elimination. Like your season's not that long. Yeah, the games are tough, but it's like anybody can win once you're in the playoffs in college. So I mean, 4-game series, best of 7 game. It's crazy.
So, Zeev, is it true? Did you come up with Freebird for the song for the World Juniors? Is that accurately attributed to you?
I hate when I have I don't want to take credit. Obviously,
but that is a gift to all of us. That has been an absolute ride for multiple teams.
Yeah.
Where were you? You're just listening to Skinnerd and in your basement, or how did this happen?
We were on the bus on the way to Ottawa, and we were just looking for a song, and we didn't want to do the songs we've done before and Party in the USA and all the kind of generic songs that get played, and everyone's kind of throwing out options, and I just randomly was Freebird,
and it's the perfect section of the song.
And everyone's oh, it's too long, and we're well, we can just cut it. We can tell them, hey, start it. I think it starts 4:43.
Yeah, it's the best section.
And I was we start it there, let it kind of build up right as we score, and then it just goes right into it, and ended up being out. It worked amazing. I remember the first time we heard it after we scored, I was this is unbelievable.
This might stick.
Yeah. Did you ever try Volare?
Oh, Laurie.
Lou, we got to get to some wild stuff with you. So give us your thoughts on the wild summer. I think there was a lot of buildup to having some cap space and some money to throw around into. There really wasn't many places to throw the money. And then you've got Rossi, who the deal just recently got done. So give us your thoughts on where the Wild are at in your mind.
Well, unfortunately for them, it was a year that not many were available. Everybody signed their own free agents for the most part. And so the hype that was coming was because you were going to be able to fill some holes with the money you had if you got the opportunity to sign somebody, and you didn't get the opportunity to sign anybody. A lot of these guys even took less money to stay with their own teams. But the most disappointing part, and you have to be honest about it, is the fact that the agent for Kaprizov, he should still sign, could still sign, but had Kaprizov signed 1 minute after free agency opened, the whole summer would have been a complete success.
Totally.
And that's unfortunate that it didn't happen, and it's not because Kaprizov doesn't want to sign here. I think he enjoys it. I'm sure there's a better than 60-40 chance that he signs here. But you know, both you guys have been around the game pro a long enough time to realize that it's not I'm not saying this in a detrimental way, but the Russians have the least loyalty to the place to which they play. In other words, they're free to move easier than others.
Sure.
You see more like this. You see guys from Sweden staying here, Finland, all around the world, but you don't see Russians staying around. They go back home to Russia. I remember when I was playing, against the Russians, I took 3 of them over to my house after the game, and they got drunk like a skunk. They drank everything I had in the house till about 5 in the morning. And then I said to Maltsov, "You have to defect. Why don't you stay here?" And he said to me, "Lou, we're Russian. We don't leave the motherland." That never left me. And I worry about that because it's not that Kaprizov might want to go, but you got the agents always playing games.
Yeah.
Because you and I, everybody, it's not a money issue. He could walk in tomorrow and say to the Wild, "Okay, give me the Grand Casino Arena, I'll rent it back." And they got to say, "Okay, we'll do it." So he's going to get the maximum, whatever the maximum is. If he wants the maximum, 18-2, whatever it is, that's not the problem. The Wild will pay that. They're happy to pay it. The fans will be excited. But this guy that is his agent, and I know him, and I'm just hoping he's not playing. There's 2 reasons why you play. One, you want to see where the cap's going, and should I sign less years, 3 years instead of 8? Or should I hold out because the cap's going to jump from, say, 88 to 105 to 120, whatever it is. And secondly, you're looking to see if there's going to be a team out there that's really good, that's going to have cap room where it might be more, better for him to play.
Yeah, better situation to win, or
to win the Stanley Cup, and that's what bothers me.
or a bigger market.
Yeah.
I think it's just term. And
Oh no, it's no term. He'll sign.
But to be honest, I don't care if he signs a shorter length deal.
No, I don't either.
I don't care at all.
Just
3
sign.
years plus the one we have. I will warm my hands by the fire. It'll be fine. And the one thing with Kirill, I think he's almost a Minnesotan.
Yeah.
I mean, he is.
That's why I
he
said
loves
he's not-
hockey the
yeah.
same way Fleury loves hockey.
Yeah.
First guy on, last guy off. So I think it'll all play out, and that'll be the deciding factor that he is home here. And I would hope he stays. I have a question for Lou because you know everything. You're like a microprocessor, your brain. But I want to test you on this one. Something big happened in pop culture today. Do you know what it is?
No, I haven't heard the radio or the TV. So.
Taylor Swift got engaged.
Oh, got engaged.
today.
That I saw. Yeah,
You did know.
I did know
I
that.
love that. I love that.
Well, I mean,
How do you get your
He's a big
information?
Swiftie.
Because when you're on KFan or wherever, how do you know everything about everything? Do you read 5 newspapers?
I read a lot. Yeah.
And you're just on like an iPad at the pickleball court, like going through 15 newspapers, or where do you take it in?
Newspapers on the telephone, X, Instagram, all that stuff.
I love it.
I'm not like Sonmore. You remember Glenn Sonmore, my coach, who I loved. I love this man. And as we know now, the time's gone by, he had a drinking problem, and so I had to put in his contract. If he drinks again, I'm going to fire him. And I said to the counselor, I said, "I'm not firing this guy." And they said, "Well, he doesn't know that. Put it in there." So Glenn Sonmore had one glass eye, and then if he'd go out before he got cured forever, you could tell. We were playing in Montreal. It was about December 22nd. We win the game. And the next day, if Sonmore's been drinking, he'd buy a gallon of fufu juice, pour it over him like a shower, And then he'd read every paper there was, 15 papers. And I remember sitting with him after the morning when we were taking off on the bus, and he's rifling through these papers. And I looked at him and said, Glenn, I'm so happy I came on this trip. He said, why? I said, I know what to get you for Christmas. Oh, you don't have to buy me anything for Christmas. Yeah, I want to buy you something. No, you don't have to buy me anything. I got the appropriate gift. What? I said, I'm getting you a glass eye. He said, I already got one. I said, yeah, but it's clear. After you drink, it should be a little bloodshot, like the other eye. It wouldn't be so obvious.
That's awesome. Love it. Zeev, gotta get you a wild question quick before we get you out of here. And I don't say this to compare you to Brock Faber, but it was similar situations where late in the year you get a couple of games, and he came on to the podcast and said, well, this is the biggest summer of my life. And he kind of went bonkers over the summer to try to be prepared for the NHL season. Tell us about your summer and if you feel the same.
For sure. I mean, I think being able to experience that and seeing what it takes and how hard it is, and kind of gave me like a view of like what I need to do, what I need to work on, kind of the strength and muscle that I need to put on. And, I think I've done that. And I think, it's nice to have a few more weeks, but I feel really good. I feel, confident. I feel like I've put the work in this summer and kind of prepared to come into camp and, be ready to make the team. So for me, it's like kind of that same mentality. I was like, I need to, really dial it in and go extreme, harder than I've ever gone before. And, I think that only, can help me.
How are the skates at Tria for you guys right now? Intense or?
Yeah, they get pretty competitive. When we first got here, when I first got here, it was like, we didn't have that many guys, so playing 3-on-3 cross ice or something, we were going hard, but it's like you get tired pretty easily, so it's like, competitiveness kind of goes down a little bit, but, we're starting to get more guys, and now it's like basically playing a full game. It felt like we had Bolts was pissed off because we had lost a few games in a row and a few days in a row, and we went in the locker room the next day. It was like Game 7. Guys are just ready to go, so it was fun though. I mean, it's still the summertime, but guys are competitive, and it's funny to see that come out. Everyone, in the summertime, you can ease up a little bit on some things, but once you start losing a little bit, everyone kind of loses that mentality and just gets competitive and wants to win. So it's been fun though. It's been really good.
Well, thanks for joining us, Lou, Zeev. Really appreciate you guys stopping out. My understanding, you're going to be over here signing for a little bit, and then going around a couple other stops to help promote the World Juniors here in the Twin Cities. So appreciate you taking a minute and hanging with us this afternoon.
Of course.
We're here.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to be with you guys.